Hello, my friends. Welcome to episode 49B. I'm going to finish up Genesis 26. And here goes. We left off toward the end. Isaac went to, he stayed in Gerar and dwelt in the land of Abimelech. And then Abimelech liked him and protected him and told nobody to mess with him. Isaac had lied and said that Rebekah was his sister, not his wife, because he didn't want the men to kill him. And thinking that that's the only way they can get his wife. Abimelech saw them kissing or acting very familiar and figured it out, and then told everybody to leave them alone. They were a married couple. But he told them Isaac became so rich, so much more productive than everybody around Abimelech. Abimelech told him to leave the city because it was causing problems. The Philistines were getting upset and filling all of Isaac's wells with sand. After Isaac would dig a well, water would fill up. The Philistines would come at night and fill it with sand. And so Abimelech didn't want a bunch of problems, so he told Isaac to leave. Everywhere Isaac went, he got another well, and the Philistines would follow him and fill the well with water. Finally, he went a little farther away to a valley, and they left him alone. By then, Abimelech noticed God was protecting Isaac, and that he didn't want to anger Isaac's God, and so he goes to his camp, and this is where we pick up the story. He's trying to make friends with Isaac and let him know that they are friends. They realize Isaac is blessed by God, and they want to be friends. So later on, Abimelech came to him from Gerar with Ahuzath, his confidential friend, and Phicol, the chief of his army, Phicol, the chief of his army. At this, Isaac said to them, "Why have you come to me, seeing that you yourselves hated me, and so sent me away from your neighborhood?" To this they said, "We have unmistakably seen that Jehovah God has proved to be with you. Hence," we said, "let please an oath of obligation occur between us. Between us and you, let us conclude a covenant with you, that you will do nothing bad toward us, just as we have not touched you, and just as we have done only good towards you, in that we sent you away in peace. You now are the blessed of Jehovah God." Then he made a feast for them, and they ate and drank. So Isaac made a feast for Abimelech and his general and his counselor. And they ate and drank. The next morning they were early in rising, and they made sworn statements one to the other. After that, Isaac sent them away, and they went away in peace. Now on that day it occurred that the servants of Isaac proceeded to come and report to him regarding the well that they had dug, and to say to him, "We have found water." Hence he called its name Shibah. That is why the name of the city is Beersheba, down to this day. Oh, I didn't know that. I've heard of Beersheba a lot, and now I know it's because they found water and it was good, and he called it Shibah. Okay. And Esau grew to be 40 years old. Then he took as wife Judith, the daughter of Beeri, the Hittite, and also Basemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. And they were a source of bitterness of spirit to Isaac and Rebekah. Okay. Let's go over the notes of episode 26. Okay, Isaac's circumstances and sins were similar to his father's. So was God's covenant with him. Isaac's personal blessings were dependent on his obedience to God and were therefore conditional. But the covenant itself was dependent on God's character and was therefore unconditional. Unfortunately, sons sometimes take on the sins of the fathers. Only through heaven's healing can families break generational sin. The Lord appeared to him, Isaac, demonstrating that Isaac was blessed in the same manner as his father. Like Abraham, Isaac built an altar. So he learned from his father how to please God. I believe it is our primary duty, our existence is to worship, praise, and please God. And this is what Isaac was doing. In the Old Testament, men of God were called servants of the Lord. Here, God calls Abraham, my servant. Nothing is more desirable than to be a servant of the living God. Isaac's dealings with Abimelech resembled his father's, with much the same result. When the Philistines observed that Isaac was the blessed of the Lord, it was a remarkable testimony. Since they hated God, if God's people keep pressing forward, doing His will, their lives may impact even their enemies. So because Isaac was a faithful servant of God and doing everything right, he was blessed. Also because God had promised Abraham he would bless all of his progeny. But the Philistines, which to this day still attacked the Jews, and I think, I imagine they would attack Christians if they were in their midst also. The Philistines saw that they were being blessed and started to respect Isaac because of the way they were so blessed. Now, today Israel is one of the richest countries in the world per capita, not in dollar amounts, but per citizen. They are very, very productive, very, very efficient, very wealthy, and very blessed. But also they're surrounded by 1 billion Muslims, close to 1 billion, right around there. This little teeny state of productivity and money making, surrounded by all these Muslims. Now, of course, there are a lot of rich Muslim cities and states and countries, but the ones I always see on TV are walking around in rags with sandals in the sand, eating goats and digging water out of the ground, like like our ancestors in America, well, never, like the Native Americans. They're happy and they got plenty of food, hunter-gatherers type situations. But they could be a lot more comfortable. They could have better hospitals, better schools, be a lot more influential in the world, if they would, and their children would live longer. More babies would survive if they had hospitals. More of the older people would survive longer if they had hospitals. You would think they would see the poverty in their city and the wealth and health of the Jews in Israel and try to cooperate and give them some respect in order to help themselves. But no. The Philistines to this day, I guess not all of them, of course, there's exceptions in every nationality, but the government of the Philistine government hates Jerusalem, and they send covert attacks. They say it's not the government, but they'll have like 50 people attack this part of Israel, or 20 people attack that part of Israel, or shoot missiles from